What's up, my brother? Welcome to Trust Me Bro Fantasy Football. How you doing, man?
Welcome this evening, brother. I'm doing okay, man. Doing
Yeah,
okay. Had a
same.
not a great weekend. Not
Yeah,
happy.
not happy either, brother. Made it to the playoffs in three leagues. Thank God I had a bye in one of them
No
because
kidding.
the other two bombed out, man.
Yep. Yep.
Pisser.
We're in the same boat, brother. We are rowing in the same boat for sure,
Yep,
because it
man.
sucks, man.
Yeah, sure does. You put in all this effort and all this, I guess research and all you think you're lined up with the players with the best opportunities in the playoffs, and they just lay an egg on you, man. Just it sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Like honestly, one of my teams that lost this weekend, they've just been on the downhill slide for the last couple weeks. It's just been
Yeah,
it's been tough sledding. I've went on a losing streak and continuing that into the playoffs. So whatever, screw that
yep,
team.
right.
My other team, man, I would have beat the majority. Like there's probably only a couple other teams in the league I would have lost against. I would have beat everybody else.
Man,
So
uh,
it just
that,
sucks to have that matchup. Like you,
mhm.
you always say it. Like it takes skill to get to the playoffs and it takes luck to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So
Yep.
and I ended up on the wrong end of the horseshoe on this one.
Same here, brother. The way I look at it, I guess the only positive vibe I can put out there tonight is that, you got to lose sometimes because when you do win, it makes it that much sweeter, you
Yeah.
know,
No,
be,
yep.
because then you've struggled through these losses. You've made it to the playoffs and lost, and then when you do end up going all the way and we get in that championship, it just makes it much more valuable to you, knowing that it's not easy, to win these
Yeah.
things. Of course, it takes luck, and obviously, there's really not much you and I can do to affect the luck of these things, but it makes
Yeah.
it sweeter when you do win.
It does, man, bro. I hate being in the position you were in tonight, where you're just rooting against a couple players. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole reason you're watching the game is just to hope these guys don't do shit. And
Yep.
it sucks. And then honestly, you lost on a play that was worthless. It was a
Yeah.
worthless play.
Hmm.
It ended up
Yep.
being a fourth down. They punted it, and without that play, you win.
Yeah. Exactly. Then without that
you
play, I
know,
would have won. It came right down to it, man.
uh,
God.
God, it's just such a kick in the nuts, man.
Yeah, it sure is. If he would have just, thrown the ball, got an or incompletion, or just, anything but that, would
Yeah.
have been just fine.
Anything but that. And then I mean, I always has you thinking back, oh, dude, if this flag didn't happen, then I would have got these extra points there. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's frustrating, dude. But
yeah, it sure is, man.
oh well, hey, we're still alive, man. We both
Still
have
alive.
teams. We
That's
both
it.
have teams that run buys.
Hmm.
I'm really looking forward to my next matchup because like the team I'm going to play went
Yep.
off. They
Okay.
went off. They had great matchups.
Yeah.
And so their matchups don't look near as good. They don't look near as juicy, and their
Right.
guys like Trevor Lawrence. That was a once in a lifetime game for him, you
Yeah.
know. And a few other people like their matchups aren't near as pretty as they were. So,
Right.
I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Good.
Let's get these next wins. Let's get to the Super Bowl, and let's just see what happens.
Yep. I know, man. So let's talk about some of these players that are out
All right,
there,
let's do
and
it.
so you happen to bring up Trevor Lawrence, and so I'm going to talk about him tonight. And he's actually, the reason why I lost my game. I mean, look at what he did, man.
Good
58 fantasy
Lord.
points, had the game of his life, and the team I was playing, the one that was, that I was playing, that I would have won tonight if it wasn't for that last Warren catch, meaningless catch.
Yep.
He had Trevor Lawrence going against me. Six
Yeah. Yeah.
touchdowns, 58
Yeah.
points. I mean, this guy's, because I think a lot of times these fantasy football championships are based on these legendary performances. Remember how we were talking a couple weeks ago about, Cook when he went off in the playoffs, and
Mm-hmm.
AK went off in the playoffs for like 7 touchdowns one game,
Yeah.
and Cooper, recently had like a 200-yard game and a couple
Yeah.
touchdowns. You have these legendary performances, and I would put this T-Law performance from yesterday up there in that category of these legendary, fantasy football performances. But look what he's got. He's got Denver coming up. I mean, the sledding is going to be a little tougher than it was
It sure
against the
will.
Jets, and
Yep.
so I don't know. If I did pick up Lawrence, I would be stashing him for 17. For against Indy, because Indy, I mean, they looked pretty solid on defense against Sam Darnold yesterday, but I know a lot of teams have laid it down to Indy recently, so I think that might be another good game for T Law.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, I agree, man. Like honestly, if I had him, I'd be playing him. If I didn't have him, and he's out there on the waiver wire, I'd be picking him up. Like, you
yeah,
know, Denver's got a much better defense. You can't expect
mhm,
58 points. That ain't gonna happen. But
right,
his worst game against Houston, who has probably the best defense in the league, was 14 points.
right.
So, like there's the downside is not that bad with this
Hmm.
guy,
Yeah,
and
true, true. He's been
like
above
he's
20 all the other games. You're right, except for that
yeah,
19.55. Yeah.
yep. So, he's got some weapons. He's got Myers that's turned into the number one there. Brian Thompson's starting to come along. So,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I would still be playing him. I'm playing against him this
Yeah.
coming week, and I'm happy that he's playing against Denver.
Yep.
But
I'll bet. I'll bet, man.
but
Yeah. It's
you
in
know,
Denver too. So yeah, they got a solid D.
I'm hoping for a 5 point game out of him, and I'll bet you we're probably looking at a 15 to 20 point game out of him.
Yep. Agreed. All right, so 63% owned on T Law.
Yep.
Biscuit, man. I know a lot of people were afraid to play the Biscuit against
Golly.
Houston D. Look at that, man. He had a 30-point game against Houston. So he's the guy just keeps slinging it, man. 3 touchdowns, 249 yards. Just looks good, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like you talked about how you lost because of T Law going off. Well, I lost because of McBride going off.
Oh yeah, boy,
And
that's another legendary performance right there in the play.
yeah,
The Kyle Pitts. That's another
exactly.
legendary performance.
100%, 100%, man. And,
Yep.
so these 249 yards and 3 touchdowns, what
Hmm.
most of that was to McBride. So,
Yeah.
but either way, man, going against the Falcons, I'll take them. Going against Carolina or Cincy, I'm sorry, I'll take them
Oh yeah.
100%. So,
Hmm.
yeah, like if this guy is 61%, so why is he not 100%? Why
Oh
is it?
no.
I really don't. I'm baffled by this, man. Look at
Yeah.
this performance.
Hmm.
You know,
Exactly, man. Yeah, the guy is phenomenal. I mean,
absolutely baffled by this.
there's really only like maybe three or four, quarterbacks I would start over him. Like
Yeah.
Josh Allen and I mean, I don't know. I mean, who else?
Josh Allen and Josh Allen and
Yeah,
like who the
exactly.
hell are you starting if you're
Yeah.
not starting this guy? Like I don't
Right.
get it, man. I really don't.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, this guy is Mr. Fantasy Football lately. Ever since he took over, he has just been phenomenal since week 6.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Go get him. Go get
39%
him.
of leagues, go get him, man. Good
Yeah.
fantasy schedule left to go, and so I think he's gonna bring home some ton of He'll be a fixture on a lot of fantasy championship teams, I believe.
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. They'll look back years back and be like, "Man, I won with Jacoby Brissett." But yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Because I
Yeah.
believed in him. Yep.
Yep.
All right. I would say maybe the only other players I'd say maybe Stafford. I'd play
Okay.
Stafford.
Okay. Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
many. Not many.
Yeah. There's one team in your league that has Stafford.
Hmm. Yep. That's me.
Yeah. Outside of that, like
Yep.
nobody else has
Yeah.
Stafford. So
That's right.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't get it,
Exactly.
man. If
Yeah.
you're in the fantasy playoffs and this guy's out there on the waiver wire, you pick him up, you play him, you
Yep.
win.
That's it. You got it. All right. McCarthy is another option. Been looking pretty solid. He looked good against Dallas, 32 points. He's got the
Yeah.
Giants and Detroit coming up, so he's got some cupcake matchups. So
Yeah.
I think that the coach McCarthy, is that his name or no? I forget his coach. Anyway,
McDonald, no, McDowell.
one of those mix, yeah. But I think he's
Yeah.
going to unleash him. For these past couple of games or last 2 games of the season, he's going to want to see what he's got in him.
Agreed.
To see what he's got for next year if they need to draft a quarterback or what. But I think he's going to be balling out. So I think
Yeah.
this guy might be pretty good. So
Yeah. I like it.
All right. Let's move on to running backs, brother. I think this guy might have a late season push, only because of the matchups he's got coming up. And I think the other guy, was it Rodriguez or something like that? I think he's out, or he was out the last game. He had 18 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown. He's got Philly, which has been really struggling against the run lately, and then Dallas. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he may end up finishing the season pretty strong.
The only way, the only way I would ever put this guy on my lineup is if Rodriguez or McNichols is out.
Yeah, which was the case yesterday. Rodriguez
Yeah.
was out, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I
You
think.
have you have to watch that. Yeah, like
Oh
if
yeah, yeah,
all three of them are playing, do not play this guy. I've done it. It
yep,
sucks. Look
yep,
at it. It's right there in front of your face. Like
hmm,
it's terrible.
right,
But
yep,
if he's one of two, one of one, go for it, man.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the caveat here. Rodriguez has
Yep.
got to stay out, and then
Yep.
this guy's wheels up. So
Yep.
I'm not talking about RB1. If you need a flex or something like that, you just need to fill in a gap here. He's 48% roster, so he's out there in half the leagues.
Yep.
If you're scrambling for a running back, you know, all right. Corum, man, this guy has just been looking
Good.
good lately, man.
Good.
Looking really good. 40% rosters out there in 60% of the leagues. He doesn't get a ton of carries, maybe 12, 11, 12 these past 2 weeks. But when he gets the ball in his hands, he does stuff with it. So
Yeah.
he count on him for double-digit fantasy points. Three of the last 3 games, and so he's been looking good.
I'm in. I'm
Yep.
in. And
Hmm.
I'm in not only in the fact that he's been doing good the last three games, he's a damn good runner. He's very
Yep.
similar to Williams.
Yes.
And the fact that they're going to the playoffs
Yeah.
and they're going for a Super Bowl run, like this is the team right now, like in the NFC, this is the team.
Yep.
So they need to make sure that they got a good, healthy running back coming into and so I think he's going to get more touches than, he's going to keep this 11, 12 average, but probably more like, pushing that 15 mark.
Yeah, I mean, if you play in a league that plays in week 18, I think that he would be maybe he'll get the ball the
That's
whole
very
game,
true. Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
he'll get even more run against Atlanta. I think there's going to be a pretty 50-50 backfield, or maybe 75-25 against Seattle. This coming Thursday night, but I think the rest of the way they're going to lean on Corum.
Yeah, you're right. They got to fend off Seattle because Seattle's right there on their heels, man. Like they've been
Yep,
hanging in there. They're you know that's a make or break game right there for them.
it is.
Rams
Yep.
win this game, they're in. Seattle's out. Like
Hmm.
they got the division clinched. So
Yep.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep. All right. Let's see. And then Carter is an option. I think the other guy that they've been going with, Bam Knight. I don't think he played this last game. I think he's
Yeah,
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he might be done for the season. And so that's
might
the reason
be
why I put him on here, because I think that it might be his. I think he's the last man standing, is what I'm trying to say, Craig.
pretty
Ninety-five
much.
percent
Pretty
of the
much.
rosters. Yeah.
Yeah, the other guy, D Marco, did whatever his name is.
Yeah. DiMarcardo. Yeah.
Yeah, D Ricardo. He's just he ain't it. He ain't
No.
it. So yeah, I agree. This is
Yeah.
this is this is one that, man. If you're just effed at the running back position,
Yep. Yeah.
not a bad swing at it.
Yeah, last man standing. He's got Atlanta and Cincy,
Yeah.
pretty decent schedule. That's why I put him up here, just because he's
Yep.
going to get some run. He had 14 carries for 56 yards. So, and then, the Cardinals have been real explosive as a team lately. So
Hmm.
they're on fire. So if he gets
Yeah.
some goal line carries, he can punch in some touchdowns. Might
That's
be
right.
pretty valuable to you. All right, let's move on to wide receivers, brother. So I'm just trying to bring, maybe two or three guys from each position to the table. Guys that I would actually consider playing in my
Yeah.
fantasy, matchups if I really had to. Franklin, he had a really good game, caught 6 out of 6 targets for 85 yards and a touchdown. And so, we've seen the guy kind of hot and cold lately. But I think in competitive games, I think that's kind of where he shines. If you go back and look at his output, the Washington and Vegas games weren't very competitive. I think they ran the ball a lot. But in a game against Green Bay, which was a pretty competitive game, they had to throw it to him. And I think that might be the case in against Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's not going to, lay down easy. So he's out there in 49% of the leagues available. So about half the leagues, Nick's truly definitely trust him. They'd
Yeah.
play college ball together at Oregon, so might be a good one.
Yeah, bro. Like this is 100% going to be a competitive game. It's going to
Hmm.
be a great one to watch.
Yep.
Beginning of the season, Jacksonville versus Denver, I would have said, "What are you talking about?" But
Yeah.
here we are, week 16, man. This is going to be a great one to watch. It's going to be a
Yeah.
very good game.
They really
And
will.
yeah, man, I mean, it's a great point you make. Like it in the competitive games, the ones that he needs to stand up and shine. He does it.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
I've liked him all year. I I wish they would just kind of figure it out and kind of get that more fluid offense going,
Hmm.
and hitting Sutton, hitting Franklin, running with Harvey, like just kind of get their flow down a little bit better. It seems to be pretty sporadic, but um, I would trust him, man. I would feel good playing him against Jacksonville. I definitely would feel good about him with Kansas City.
Me too. And one thing I've noticed about Nick's is I heard that his father was a high school football coach, and that he makes it a point, to drill in Nick's head is don't take sacks, don't take
Yeah,
sacks. And so
yeah,
you hardly ever see Nick's take a sack. And so he'll run to the sidelines to get out of bounds. He'll throw the ball, like away, or he'll hit somebody, one of his receivers that's hanging back, getting open for him, or he'll check it down to one of his running backs. And so Nix does not take a lot of sacks, and so that's why this
yeah,
guy might be, he's had 94 targets, and so he's definitely looks for him a lot.
yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. Raheed Shaheed, man, this guy is looking really good, man. I played him this past week in our return yards league. He's got me 25 points. Wish he would have got me 27. I would have won my matchup. But
Kidding.
he looked pretty good, man. He's finally finding his groove in Seattle, and so gets the return yards. But he caught 5 out of 7 targets for 74 yards, and I think it's just a matter of time until he scores a touchdown for the Seahawks. And
Yeah.
so yeah, in a competitive game against the Rams this coming Thursday night, I think he's going to get some run, brother.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll take you up on that. Like I've
Yep.
liked Shaheed, through the last few years here that he's been showing up. So
Yeah.
let's see Shaheed actually make some waves here.
Yeah, I think so. He's out there in 47% of the are available, so he's a little almost half the leagues he's available. So if you really need a wide receiver, and this is going to be a shootout, I believe. A lot of back and forth scoring. I could see this being 35-32 or something like that. I think
It's gonna have to be,
yeah, I think it's going to go over 60 points. With these two teams scoring a lot of touchdowns. So anyway, Shaheed and Jackson are going to do well, I believe. Their running backs can't do nothing, so it's really the
yeah,
wide receivers that got to do it to score some
yeah,
points for this team. All right, let's move on to tight ends, brother. So this guy, man, Colby Parkinson,
yeah.
when Higgleby went out, this guy's been a primary target um, uh, for Stafford.
Stafford, yeah.
Yeah, and so with homeboy going out, who was it? God, I kept drawing a blank.
Adams,
Adams, yeah, with Devontae
yeah,
Adams out, I got to see Colby Parkinson getting some run. I think he'll
yeah.
get at least 7 targets this next game against Seattle, who looks like they're pretty bad against the tight end. So I mean, I know the projection they're laying up there is 4, which I don't think is fair. I mean, look at them, 12 points, 24 points, 14 points a few weeks ago. So I think this is a pretty solid option at tight end. Only 4% rostered.
Bro, leave that 4% projection up there. Let all the suckers that just go off projection
Yep,
pass on them
that's right.
and
That's
bring them
right.
on because I am with you, brother. Like all the signs lead to a great game for Parkinson coming up this next week.
Yep.
I'm there. I'm probably using my waiver wire pick for him. Got to kind of well, actually, I don't have as much of a predicament this week at quarterback as I do next week. So I think this is a week, man, and that league I'm still alive in. He's gonna be my dude. I'm gonna target him. I'm gonna go get him.
Me too. Well, let's roll with him together, brother, because I've
Yeah,
been rolling with Strange, which I'm not feeling good about. I'm feeling kind of strange about him. And I've been rolling with the Ravens guy, Mandrews. And Mandrews, man, he just hasn't done nothing lately. Likely got a 0 this past game, and so
Uh,
I just can't feel confident about playing
mm,
Strange or Mandrews in my playoff game in Week 17. So I think I'm going to turn the keys over to Colby Parkinson and
man,
roll with it, brother. That's what I'm
yeah,
doing.
I would feel 30 times better going with
Mhm.
Parkinson than either of those guys.
Yep, I'm going to do it, brother. I'm going Parkinson. You're going to ride with me, so
I'm
let's
with
do
you,
it.
brother. I'm with
All
you. If I
right.
can get him, I'm in.
Yep, let's
'Cause I
do it.
got Warren, and like Old Man Rivers looked decent,
Mhm.
but he needs to go figure out who this Warren guy is at his tight end spot. So
Yeah,
at
it's
this
a
point,
little
I'm going
late.
with Parkinson. Yep,
Yeah, it's a little late for that chemistry to develop. I mean,
exactly.
I'd rather take this guy that's had some reps with his quarterback as the primary tight end for the past 6 games or 4 games at least. So it's
Yep,
been a while. So let's
yeah.
roll with him, brother. I like it.
Let's do it.
All right. If you can't get him, I'm probably not going to use a waiver wire because I play in a 10-man league, and I don't think that they're. I think this guy's going to go completely under the radar, Parkinson. So I should
Yeah,
be able to scoop him up just fine. But Dawson Knox is another good one. I've had Kincaid, and man, if Kincaid would have been the man, I would have won that matchup. 6.7 from Kincaid, because guess who's been hogging all the work? Dawson Knox these past two
yeah.
games, and so that's another reason why I lost by 2 points tonight. Um, went with
It's
Dawson or went with Kincaid instead of this guy.
dude, it's frustrating as hell, man. Like,
Hmm.
look at this production through the years in the last two games, like, or through the weeks, and then
Yeah,
these last two games, all of a sudden he's the guy.
I know, right?
Like,
Yeah,
like, come on, man. Pick
yeah,
one and go with it.
uh-huh.
I can
Yeah,
understand two wide receivers on the team. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and blah blah blah. You can go down the list, but two tight ends producing,
yeah,
get the hell out of here. Like
I know, right?
so.
That's how
Yeah,
the Bills roll, brother. They look at the tight ends as the primary option to move the ball, and these wide receivers are secondary options for some
yeah,
reason. I don't know why,
yeah,
but that's how Josh Allen rolls. So. But yeah, he's out there in 97% of the leagues. So if you can't get Parkinson, go grab you some Dawson Knox. I think this
yeah.
guy's definitely been rolling lately. I think he's going to
Cool.
keep it going. All right, let's move on to some defenses, brother. Let's talk about the Saints. I picked them up in the league. I've got the Saints and I've got the Chiefs, and so those are the two I'm mulling over for this coming week for Week 17. So the Saints got the Jets coming to town with, I believe, Brady Cook as the quarterback. It seems like the other two, Fields and I forget the other guy's name, but I think they're cooked this season. So I think they're just
Yeah,
going to roll with this guy, Brady Cook. And you just saw what the Jet or the Jags did to the Jets, and so I got a feeling that they're going to come to New Orleans for a beatdown.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, at this point, you kind of have to look at it if you're New Orleans and say, you know what? Do we care?
hmm
Like they've won their last two games.
I
It's
think they
hard to
do
say.
care, man. I think they do care. They ended up beating Carolina with the last second field goal, and yeah,
Yeah,
they are playing like they care. They do.
yeah.
They're playing spoiler, brother.
They're
So,
playing spoilers and screwing up their draft pick, but
hmm
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, either way, man. Like, yeah,
So this is an option.
okay, it's an
'Cause
option.
they got a couple good games here remaining. Buffalo
Yeah,
D is another good one. They're out there 54%. They're rostered. So they're out there in 46% of the leagues. In
okay.
Cleveland,
I'm
the
taking.
Sanders turned back into a pumpkin. The Cinderella phase is over. He had a great game 2 games ago, but yesterday, man, he stunk up the field, Sanders. So I gotta see that's going to probably continue against the Bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Bills
I
D's a good
agree.
and then KC, this is another one. I've got them on my bench. I'm sitting there debating between the Chiefs, but with what happened to Mahomes and the way that Tennessee's been playing lately, Tennessee's been doing pretty well, to be honest. I don't know if they're winning games, but they're scoring lots of fantasy points. I think Cam's finally, rallying and doing stuff. So I don't know, but I'm not feeling as confident as I was in this matchup a couple weeks ago.
I honestly feel really good about this one. This is
You
one
like
I
it?
threw on my bench. Yeah, this is one I'm playing.
You still like it? You're going to roll with it?
This is my top defense for the weekend.
Okay.
Um, just the way Spagnuolo blitzes, the way
Hmm.
he dials up the pressure. I think you see a different Tennessee offense than you've seen the last couple weeks, man. Like
Okay. So you're
I,
confident in them, even with
yeah,
what happened to Pat Mahomes. You think because they're on the road, they're going to be playing Tennessee. So I rolled with KC defense in the playoffs. Yesterday I got 9 points from them. I would have got 9 points from the Steelers, so it was a wash either way. But anyway, that's what they got me, nine.
yeah. I just feel like it's that pride thing,
Mm-hmm.
Like sure we're going Minshew and our quarterback's out and our season's over pretty much, but we're
Yeah.
still damn Super Bowl like we've been on the road for like we've been on this for streak for a while. We're going to finish this
Yep.
thing strong. Like
Yeah.
I see this as a
Okay. All
pretty
right.
big defense scoring here.
So you'd go with them over the Saints.
Yeah,
Okay. And then they got Denver next, and so they're definitely going to look to
I
play
don't like
spoiler.
that. I don't
They're
like
going to
that
look
at
to play
all.
spoiler though against Denver, and so
Yeah,
they're going to want to wreck Denver's. I don't know. Denver may be looking at a first round bye, so I don't know, but they're going to want to play spoiler. So
yeah. It's possible. I definitely like it this week though.
yep. All right. I may roll with you on that one. If we roll on tight ends together and this one, I think we might do
Yeah,
it. Okay. All right, let's talk about some kickers. I like this guy because
yep,
I've been rolling with the Bengals kicker. He got me 0 points, but I was on a bye, so I didn't have to play him. But he got 0 points. If I would have played him in a fantasy matchup, I would have been pissed. But Fairbairn, he's got Las Vegas in next week at home. I got a feeling that they're going to run on they're going to roll on the Las Vegas
yeah,
defense. So I could see him putting up some points. This may be a pretty good points game. I could see him getting double digit fantasy points, maybe edging up closer to one of these 14, 17 point games. What do you think?
yeah. I mean, I think so too. Vegas is trying to establish themselves and figure out who the hell they are. And um, Pete Carroll's not going to let them quit. So yeah, I could see it, man.
Would you play him over the Bengals kicker?
Yes,
Okay.
fuck him.
All right.
Like I
So
am out
yeah,
on him right now because
yeah,
he got me a goose egg on my
same, same.
like that whole offense is just off. So
Exactly. Yeah, I think I'm going to bail on him and pick up this
yep,
guy,
yep,
Fairbairn.
yep, yep.
So he's out there in 70% of leagues, but he just happens to be out there in the league that I need him in. So I think I'm going to roll and grab him and go
Yeah,
with it. So
I like it, man. I mean, he's not gonna let you down. Like
yeah.
if you get you 8 points, 10 points, like you're not gonna be pissed about that. But he's got
Hmm.
some upside to get you, 14, 15 points.
Yep. Yep. The only time he got a goose egg was against the Jags. That was probably a game where they just could not kick field goals. They were probably playing from behind the whole time. And then against Tennessee, I don't even
No,
know.
he was out both those
Oh,
games.
okay.
Like
Oh, he was out. Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, they had somebody else.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
you're going to get you 7, 8 at the worst case scenario. So
yeah,
yeah, I think I'm
yep,
going to grab him. Okay.
yep.
All right, and then another option is Cam Little. This is another game we were just talking about against Denver. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, a lot of grit, a lot of back and forth. So
Yeah,
this could be another one where he puts up double-digit fantasy points.
yeah. I like this one too, man. I really do. Like I feel like
Yep.
this is a field goal type of game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Agreed.
you had Lawrence going off for 6 touchdowns last game, and this one he might go off for one or two, and the rest are
Yeah.
field goals. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
this is another good one. Would you go with him versus Fairbairn, or what do you think?
I probably would go with Cam. Well, I mean, yeah, with Cam Little over
Cam Little.
Fairbairn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
and
in
maybe a
Denver.
wash.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll,
maybe a
I'll
wash, maybe close, but
Yeah, I'll take a look at the weather projections and see because
there you go.
sometimes it snows in Denver. It's in Mile High, and I think the ball sale's pretty good up there. But I need to look at wind speed. I need to look at the weather. If there's wind and
Yeah,
rain or snow, that may affect my decision. But a little later in the week, I'm going to be checking the weather report to go back and forth between one of these guys.
yep.
So that's all we got for tonight, brother. But yeah,
That's it.
I'll stop
It's a
sharing.
wrap. All right.
Yep. Okay. All right, that's a
Good
wrap for the
stuff.
players because I just wanted to bring, the key guys that I felt comfortable if I had to start in a pinch. These are guys I would roll out there in week 17. I don't. We're done with projects, brother. We're not looking for people to stash on the bench for another rainy
Yeah,
day. This is it, man. It's storming, so we need all
exactly.
hands on deck. So
Exactly. I think the only guy I would mention outside of what we've talked about is that Valet or Veely or whatever
yep,
the hell his name is for the Saints. Like
right,
he's quickly becoming their number one guy. Like
yeah.
Olave is definitely there, but
Hmm.
it seems like on third downs, it seems like on any time that's in the crunch, he's going to that
Yeah,
Veely
agreed.
guy.
Agreed. Yeah, he's been on fire lately. He's definitely is a go-to guy for that quarterback. I think every rookie quarterback. I think that's the guy who've been working with on the practice
Probably.
squad or whatever. So
Yeah.
just somebody who's
Yeah.
developed a good rapport and chemistry with.
Yeah.
And then if and on the same spirit of Saints, I think the one dude Neil, the guy that I was playing in one of my
Yeah.
leagues, he ended up getting hurt around halftime, and didn't participate in the second half of that football game. And so I know AK is on the shelf, and so if Neil's on the shelf too, you may have to dig deep into the Saints RB 4 or 5. I don't even know their names, but
Yeah.
you're super
Got
desperate. Yeah,
I know. I hope you're not in that spot trying to get in
yeah,
the playoffs or trying to get into the Super Bowl. But
no,
yeah,
yeah. So
cool. Well, good
that's
stuff,
it.
brother. That was a lot
Yep.
of good names, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Some good
exactly.
options there.
Yes, good stuff, my brother. So good luck in your fantasy leagues, man. We
You
got
too.
Seattle and the Rams on Thursday night. I hope that is a 60 plus point scoring game, with each team scoring 35 plus points, something like that. That's what I'm looking for. Lots of back and forth, lots of good scoring. I need Jackson to do well. I need the let's see who else do I got. I got Stafford. So those are the two that I'm playing on my fantasy team.
I'm with you on JSN, man. Let's hope for
Yeah.
a 40 burger from him.
Hmm. Yep. That's what we're
That would
looking
set
for,
us up
brother.
nice for the
Yes, it
weekend.
will. Yes, it
Let's
will.
go.
So, let's
Yep.
go, brother. Well, good luck on the waiver wire tomorrow night. Hopefully,
Yep.
you
You
get
too.
Parkinson and get your kicker situation straightened out. And I think I'll roll with you on the Chiefs defense, and we'll be back at you next Monday night. Hopefully, popping some bottles and celebrating a little bit, brother.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, brother.
All right, my brother.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace.
See you.